Welcome to Web API Tutorials. I am Venkat. In the previous video, we have discussed what is the need of a table specific repository when we have a common repository and how to use it. Let's implement the same in this video. This is the common repository, application level repository we have created. You can see we have methods for all common functionalities, delete, create, get, so all that. So as we have all these common methods inside the college repository, let's remove these methods from the table specific repository. Okay. You can see this student repository is a student table specific repository. So let's go into the interface and we have this get all students in the common repository, remove that. So this one also we have it in common repository, remove that. So this one also, this one, we have all these inside the common repository. And let's go to the implementation. This is the student repository implementation. So in this implementation also we have the create in common repository, delete also in common repository, get, and all these in common repository. So we have all that in common repository. Okay, in student repository you do not have functionalities for common. So now let us inherit the common repository into the student specific repository. So this interface does not have any method definitions right now. So let us inherit it from the common repository. So this is iCollege repository. So this iCollege repository now we are inheriting for student table. So let's do it for student table. So let's mention the student here because this one is a common repository. Now we are saying, so we are inheriting it inside the student repository. So that's why we have directly passed the student here. Okay, now how many methods this one has? So this one has nothing here, but it is inherited all the methods from this 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now this has access to all the 6 methods of its parent. So now interface inheritance is completed. Let's go to the student repository. Here you can see we are seeing error. So this student repository has all these methods, but all those methods are not implemented here. So student repository got all these methods from its parent. We have to implement all those here. Okay, instead of implementing all those, we have all those implemented in common repository. Let's inherit here implementations. Sorry, it's not common repository, college repository. It's a college repository for student table, right? Now this error is gone because this one has all those implementations. Now all the methods from this interface is implemented inside this. Okay. Now we got a new error. So as we have a college repository inherited here, so let's go inside this. This one has a parameterized constructor. So if parent class has parameterized constructor, we need to pass those parameters from the child class. You can see there is no default constructor. We have only parameterized constructor. If there is a parameterized constructor, we need to pass that parameter from the child class. How to pass parameters from child class to parent class? Using base keyword. Use base keyword, base of DB context. Okay, this is how we can pass the parameter to base class. Now the error is gone. Okay, now we have a student repository. Now this student repository has how many methods? This has all common methods inherited from this base class. And if you want to write any specific functionalities or specific methods, student specific methods, you can write it here. Let's go to the interface first. List of students, get students by fee status. Okay, that's the fee status. Suppose let's make it async and let's implement this one. Okay, this is the student specific functionality, and here we need to implement that. Implement the interface. This is the method we need to implement. Here we can write code to return. So that's it. This is how we can write a table specific functionality in the table specific repository. Okay, and we are inheriting the common functionality from base class or common repository. We can start using this inside the student controller. Let's go to student controller. Instead of doing this, and now I can use student repository only. For the student repository, we don't need to pass anything here. It is a specific repository. Right now, we are using the student repository only, and you can see we are using all get all async and get by ID and get by name, create student, create async, and update, get by ID and update. So all these methods are defined in common repository, but we are able to use them from the student repository with the help of inheritance. So you can see our student repository doesn't have all those methods, create, update, all that. So who has that? Common repository has that. We have extended that common repository and created a student repository and added this student specific functionality here. Okay, like this we can extend the common repository. So this method is coming from the base class. If you want to get students by, you can see, so all these methods are coming from base class, but this one is coming from the child class, child repository, right? You can use that. That is how we can extend the functionalities of common repository into the table specific repository. So this one is the student repository. So there is one thing we need to clean it up. College repository. Let's go here. Here you can see get by ID and get by name. So here we are getting same parameters, you can see here. So we are getting the filter from the consumer end, and we are having two separate methods. When we are getting the filter from consumer end, we don't need to put two separate methods. One method is enough, right? What we are doing here, you can see we are simply applying the filter and returning first record. Same thing we are doing. Okay, remove this method. Remove that method is not required, and here only we will get that whatever filter by ID, filter by name, or filter by something else, anything we can get here, right? So that's why I have commented this. So now let's go to the interface. Here also let's comment this one, that's not required, and let's go to the student controller. Come here, by ID. So this is the method we wanted to use. But if you look at the method name get by ID async, this method says get the record by ID, but we are getting the record by using name or ID or anything. So this method name is not correct. Let's change the method name. Get by filter, or we can say get only, get async. So that's a get async. college repository get async, and let's go to the student controller get async, get async, and get async, get async, get async. So now we have implemented only one method. For that method, you can send any kind of filter, right? So if you send filter by ID, it will filter by ID. If you send filter by name, it will filter by name. You can see. So whatever, you can send anything. So with this, I can say repository design pattern is completed. For more videos like this, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment box. Thank you for watching.